India's Hindu nationalist prime minister was just re-elected by a significant margin. Christians there are rightly concerned. We should be too. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. This is Breakpoint. Last week, Narendra Modi was sworn in for a second term as India's prime minister. His party, the BJP, won a resounding victory in parliamentary elections. As Indian pundits, a word that is, by the way, of Indian origin, will tell you, if Modi and the BJP were the obvious winners, their political rivals, the Congress Party, were the big losers. But there's another potential loser in these elections, one that should especially concern American Christians, and that's Indian Christians. To understand why, you need to understand Hindutva, which is the BJP's governing ideology. It literally means Hinduness and defines what it means to be an Indian in religious, to be specific, Hindu terms. Hindutva regards Christianity and Islam as foreign religions, and therefore, any Indian who claims to be a Christian or a Muslim is less than truly Indian. According to this ideology, Hinduism is central to what it means to be an Indian. While most of the world mistakenly sees India as a land of Gandhi gurus and nonviolence, there's nothing peaceful or tolerant about Hindutva. For instance, the man who assassinated Gandhi was an adherent of Hindutva who felt that Gandhi had betrayed the Hindu community. In their turn-up to these elections, one BJP candidate called Gandhi's assassin a patriot. Though Modi would denounce those comments, they are consistent with the principles of Hindutva. More concerning are the many examples of Hindutva-inspired persecution of Christians in India, especially in the 5 years since the BJP first came to power. In the weeks before the election, there were reports of food deprivation, beatings, and jail directed at Christian converts in the eastern Indian state of Jharkhand. As Open Doors put it, because radical Hindu nationalists view followers of Jesus as alien to the nation, all Christians in India are suffering persecution. Driven by a desire to cleanse their country from Islam and Christianity, nationalists do not shy away from using extensive violence to achieve their goals. A part of their campaign to cleanse India of Christians are anti-conversion laws. At least 6 Indian states effectively prohibit conversions to Christianity. Now, I say effectively because Hindu nationalists there have found a way around the freedom of religion guaranteed in the Indian Constitution. You see, any conversions that result from, quote, force, allurement, or fraudulent means is illegal. Well, given the vagueness of those terms, Indian law empowers ideologically driven local officials to view all conversions as guilty until proven innocent. For all these reasons and more, India currently ranks 10th on Open Doors' World Watch list, which is 11 spots higher than when the BJP first assumed power. All of this might come as a surprise given what we often hear or read about India in mainstream media outlets. For example, a recent discussion of the Indian election on a New York Times podcast explained the threat to Indian Muslims, but made no mention whatsoever of the persecution of Indian Christians. To be fair, India does have the second largest Muslim population in the world, and the most visible religious conflict there falls along Hindu-Muslim lines. Still, there are more than 30 million Christians in India. And there's some reason to believe that that number is significantly understated. Muslims aren't the only targets of Hindu extremism. Indian Christians are rightly concerned about what Modi's triumph means for them. And we should be concerned as well. After all, contrary to Hindutva ideology, Christianity is no European import. It existed in India before Paul reached Rome. Some churches in southern India even worship still in an offshoot of Aramaic, the language Jesus spoke. We must pray for our Indian brethren, asking God to preserve that faith in a subcontinent where it is every bit as native as that which seeks to drive them out. For Breakpoint, I'm John Stonestreet.